So animal testing is sort of a barbaric, unbelievable thing that it still happens. Like, I understand why it began that way, but the fact that it still takes place as often as it does is kind of outrageous. I think probably the best example is the mascara wand. In the 80s and 90s, it was a big thing with PETA, which is the People for Ethical Treatments of Animals, that were really against it. And they got some laws passed, but it still happens. And a lot of it has to do with rabbits that are kept in cages, really small cages, and their heads are put in these vices, and then people jam eyelash wands in their eyes and to see how long it takes it to get irritated. And they spend their whole lives like that. And then when they're spent, they just kill them. For the most part, it's rabbits or mice, rats, small mammals. Sometimes, but not very often, it's dogs. And those are kind of medium-sized dogs, not really big dogs and not really small dogs, but kind of like a Cocker Spaniel type size dog. They also don't really test a lot on, they do some tests on cats, but not as much as they do on rabbits and mice and rats, certainly.
SFX makeup is visual makeup that can turn out to be gory or more fantasy-like. For SFX, I use Ben Nye, Krylon, Meron, and I think that's about all.
I think as sad as this is, most every brand tests on animals. I know that it's probably easier to list brands that don't test on animals, for sure. I know that, speaking about makeup brands specifically and cosmetics and stuff, I know that Lush, which is probably the most successful brand that does not test on animals. And I don't know this for a fact, but like I said, they are cruelty-free because they don't test on animals, but I think that they may still use some of the results from tests that were done on animals, but they don't choose to do anything different. They just use those same results. Essentially, if you look on the advertising, then it'll say cruelty-free. And if it says that, it means they don't test animals. So normally the testing, which is very similar to slaughterhouses, it's all behind closed doors because they don't want anyone to see it because, humans, I have strong faith in humanity, and I think that if the normal human saw what happened to give you your burger on your plate or give you your mascara or any sort of cosmetic or makeup, shampoo even, that you wouldn't buy it because the way that they treat animals and they kind of torture them purposely to see how much they can take until it affects them negatively. And also the fact that it doesn't really seem like it takes great smarts to realize that the way a rabbit will respond to something is not the way a human is going to respond. So the fact that they use rabbits to test human products makes no sense. And especially now when science has evolved so much that they can do all these tests without animals. They still do it with animals, just citing that that's the way it was always done. NARN stands for the Northwest Animal Rights Network, and the specialty for NARN is that they don't actually focus on any one certain aspect of animal rights, but they kind of support all animal rights, and they work a lot, well, we work a lot, I guess I should say, with various sanctuaries and animal education, humane education projects, and kind of help to get them more noticed and get the word out about them and fundraise for them. So it's kind of like an umbrella that then all these other animal rights organizations can kind of take shelter under.
I don't know much, but I think they test the products on the animals and it either turns out well and nothing happens to them, or it turns out bad and they have a bad reaction to it.
So normally the testing, which is very similar to slaughterhouses, it's all behind closed doors because they don't want anyone to see it because, humans, I have like strong faith in humanity, and I think that if the normal human saw like what happened to like, you know, give you your burger on your plate or give you your mascara or any sort of cosmetic or makeup, you know, shampoo even, that you wouldn't buy it because the way that they treat animals.
Animals, they shouldn't even be tested on anything. They should have free will.
I think that they do it because that's the way it's always been done, and as ridiculous as that sounds, that's like what a good majority of people expect them to do, and so that's what they do, just to kind of like fill a status quo about, you know, did you shove this mascara brush into this rabbit's eye? Yes, we did. Well, then I'll buy it, you know.
Animal testing is wrong because I love animals and I don't want them to have to go through pain.
Mostly like your generation, the younger generation, is the one that can really change this.
I think you'll try to avoid certain brands if you know that they animal test.
If they're my favorite, probably not because I'm already so familiar with them.
Information does change how I feel about these products because it's unfair for animals to suffer for a good being.
I would say yes, it does, because I feel bad for the animals, but at the same time, if it's working well for me, I would still continue to use it.